line.
Okay.
Shalom. We are the ICBK coming out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, at the Commander General Yahan. And today's topic is the preemptive, how do you say that again, Warren?
Preemptive.
Yes, preemptive strategies of Esau and Moab. Because see, what are they doing? They in position, they putting all their pieces into play right now is what's going on. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And as far as when you got these people that call, they say that Esau is the Arab man and all of that. I mean, come on, this, the Arab man's blessing doesn't come by the sword. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, they have an army and they fight just like everybody else. I mean, the whole world has an army, you know what I'm saying, except for the nation of Israel, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Our only army is the ISUPK, but the thing about it is our peoples don't even support us as the army, nor recognize us as that, nor show us the type of appreciation as what the other armies of the world show their troops. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, with the thing with Esau, this is a story also too, with a young white dude, I guess he may be 16, 17, something like that, made a drone. And this drone, shoots bullets, right? At first he was just using it to with a camera spying on people and stuff like that. Now he's shooting, he's done made a drone to where it's firing bullets, right? So what does this tell you about young white men, young white males, rather? Young white males should be racially profiled.
Yeah, right.
You see what I'm saying? They should be patted down, searched, and everybody should look at a young white male as a potential school shooter, just like they look at a young black male as a potential drug dealer. Go ahead.
Super predators is what they call us.
Right. So as super predators, but in reality, it's the young white boys that are super predator. A super predator, right? Super predator has a power, he's beyond a regular predator.
Right.
Because he can kill in large numbers.
Yeah, right.
That's what you would call a super predator. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
If you could just hunt people down one at a time, you're not a super predator, you're just a regular predator. You know what I'm saying? A super predator is somebody that can go in and wipe out 30 students.
Right.
Go ahead.
A super predator is someone who can apparently remove a window at a hotel in Las Vegas and wipe out 50 people in a blink of an eye.
Right.
Before you realize where the shots is coming from.
Exactly. Before you realize, and then also too, he can be taken alive.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? He's a super predator because even after he does this stuff, they'll take him alive and they'll take him to Burger King or McDonald's or something like that before they bring him to prison. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And not only that, but also too, he'll have GoFundMe set up for him. You see what I'm saying? They'll even do that. That's being a super predator right there. That means you're a predator that's damn near above the law. And that's what type of man that the white man is, right? But see, since white people don't like to racially profile one another, that's what makes them the super predators. Because the predators can keep on predatorizing. You know what I'm saying? We predatorize anything, our ass get thrown in jail, we get thrown in prison. You know what I'm saying? Most black people can only kill one person. You know what I'm saying? Most black people that's in prison for murder, most of them has only killed one person.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying? And that is if he even really did that. You know what I'm saying? We only killed one person. A lot of the people that I knew, from the hood and everything, that end up killing people. I haven't known too many people that's been killed multiple people. You know what I'm saying? They killed one person and they went to prison for a long time and they got out of prison, you know what I'm saying, and haven't killed anybody else.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? The thing of it is we can do one murder in self-defense and get 25 to life.
Right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so lucky, sir. And usually when we commit the murder, it's usually against one of our own kind.
Right, exactly. Or if it's against, white people or something, you're going to prison for a very long time.
Yeah.
What?
So lucky, if it's against them, you probably won't get taken alive when they come to get you.
Right. And if you are taken alive, you know what I'm saying, people are marveling at you of why they didn't shoot you down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And after they talk, all of this talk about forgiveness and all of that, right? Forgiveness comes when justice is served. That's why you can see a special where some black dude done killed some white woman's son. Some old white woman's son or grandson. She doesn't forgive until she knows that his damn life is thrown away. That his whole life is gone. You know what I'm saying? She's not comforted until that.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying? But black people, we supposed to be forgiven when the person never even went to jail, period. We supposed to just be forgiven. Right? Okay, so let me get to some scripture. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great exceeding bitter cry. We're in Genesis chapter 27 and verse 34. And said unto his father, bless me, even me also, O my father. And he said, thy brother came with subtlety and hath taken away thy blessing. And he said, is not he rightly named Jacob? For he hath supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he taken away my blessing. And he said, hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? Now notice, when Jacob came in, right? Here's the thing, because you got people that's teaching, well, Esau, was probably this red-headed black dude, no. Right, when they said he came out red all over, see, they missed that detail.
Right.
Like a hairy garment, and it shows you not only was it talking about him being red, but it's talking about him being hairy all over.
Yeah, right.
You see what I'm saying? When Jacob came to Isaac, because Isaac's eyes were dim, because see, what did he do? He felt his hands, and what did he do? He felt the back of his neck to bring him close to him because Isaac couldn't see that well. You see what I'm saying? Isaac was, he was 100, about 100 years old at this time, and he started, his eyes went dim, right? So now with him bringing him close, he seen that his hands were hairy. You know what I'm saying? And the back of his neck was also real hairy too. What people do you know that have that are most known for body hair? Back hair, hair everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And they're like that as a whole race. You see what I'm saying? They only came, a couple of years ago, went around talking about that Esau was the Arab and all of that. They just follow whatever flavor. Christians just follow whatever flavor, and these fake Israelite groups, they just follow whatever flavor of the month it is that comes out. You see what I'm saying?
Damn right.
10 years ago, nobody was talking about Esau was the Arabs. And then the Christian television, as soon as the Jewish people was talking about it, became enemies with Palestine like that, then they started talking about the Palestinians were Amalek with no biblical proof at all. You know what I'm saying? Just pure propaganda, and everybody was saying it. Now they done left off that, ain't nobody saying it no more. You know what I'm saying? Now they're around talking about Esau's the Arab man. You see what I'm saying? And how the hell can you mistake? We can't even, we became so stupid that we can't even tell our colors.
Right.
Our people that became so dumb that we can't even tell our colors. Go ahead.
Right. So lucky, sir. And they just letting all this crap fly out their mouth with no type of biblical proof whatsoever.
Right. None at all. They don't, all they say is what masters say because they believe is the white man is being close to God.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They believe that. They believe that the white man is close to God, so whatever he say, whatever come out of his mouth, is word. And they esteem that above what the Bible say. They get angry at what the Bible say.
Damn right.
And embrace what he say. Now he had taken away my blessing, and he said, hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, behold, I have made him thy Lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants. And with corn and wine have I sustained him. As I mentioned before, that corn and wine, Jacob gave us the blessing of corn and wine. The Issacharites can work some cold ass tacos, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
You know, made out of that crushed corn, you know what I'm saying? Well, see, here's the thing about it though. The corn and wine is going into the hands of the damn white man because they owning all the, you know what I'm saying, Taco Bell and all the, you know what I'm saying, top places to sell tacos, and they own all the damn wine vineyards and everything too, and got our peoples working in them, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But the time of that's gonna change, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's gonna be wines bottled named after niggas, you know what I'm saying?
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be, you know what I'm saying? It's the correct names on the bottle. I don't mean Spanish names either. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Hebrew is the correct names on the bottle. And the heathens is gonna be picking the grapes. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. Now, wait a minute, hold on. So, when it say thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, what does that mean? Go ahead, Trouble. Go ahead. What does that mean?
It means that they're going to be everywhere.
No, it said thy dwelling, the dwellings is going to be the fatness of the earth, not just them in numbers and everything.
That means that they was basically going to be sucking dry. Like sucking up everything, taking everything.
Well, that too, but I wanted to be a little more on, you know, just a little more on it when it says, now think about it, the fatness of the earth. Because if the Lord said you're going to live on the fatness of the land, what is he saying?
You're going to reap all the rewards of the land.
Right.
You're going to get the
best
of the best. You're going to
be in the high places. You come on the Travel Channel.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Who's all over the world?
The devil.
In the best places on the face of the earth. He go to where, regardless of where, who is that? You know what I'm saying?
The white devil.
Right. I mean, you can sit there, you can go to, like say for instance, in Barbados, the hotels in Barbados, who's stunting in the hotels and all that, while having the Benjamites working, you know, all through that, waiting tables and all that, while they're on the high places. Who is it?
The white devil.
Right. You go to Brazil.
Rio, where the Olympics is being held.
Right.
Like all of Rio is trash, but them white devils is living in them nice ass hotels down there.
Right.
While the rest of the city is just ain't even got clean water.
Right. And even they're also joined with Asher down there because a lot of the Asherites down in Brazil and stuff like that, Bolivia and all that, they are, you know, they have a little bit of wealth. Right. You know what I'm saying? But who's right next to them, you know what I'm saying, getting the dainty dishes, you know what I'm saying, at the restaurant, at high restaurants and all that? Esau.
The white devils.
You know what I'm saying? You go to Japan. Who's in the best places of Japan?
The white devils.
Right. He's everywhere. So when it says, thy dwelling should be the fatness of the earth, right?
Right.
And of the dew of heaven from above. Now, what does the dew of heaven from above mean? Can you tell me that?
From the dew from heaven of above. Basically, like the morning dew,
right?
Like when it's like helps things to grow.
It covers all the grass.
Covers all the grass.
You know what I'm saying? So does the white man cover all the grass. But what does he cover all the grass with? He don't cover it with a blessing. He cover it with a curse. He pour concrete all over every damn thing.
Right. Cover it with death.
Right. You know what I'm saying? The white man see a good fruitful field. You know what I'm saying? And pour concrete all over it. He done made the whole damn world a cave. You know what I'm saying? He done made the whole world, you know what I'm saying, a mountain range. You know what I'm saying? Stones every damn where. When invading forces would be, you know, going against other forces, what would they do? They would, you know, stop up their wells, right?
Right.
And they would throw stones all over the land, you know what I'm saying? To smother out any good produce that might be up under it, right? They would take that land and I think they call it felling it with stones. You know what I'm saying? That's what the white man does, because what does the stones bring for the land? It brings death for whatever it is that's trying to come up under it, right?
Right.
All right. And of the dew of heaven from above, and by thy sword shalt thou live. Now that's the key point right there. The white man is not on top because he's the smartest, the brightest, or none of that. You know what I'm saying? He's on top because of the sword.
Right.
It's funny because you watch stuff like mafia documentaries and all of that. You know what I'm saying? And people be like, man, Al Capone them, they were such brilliant businessmen. But no, if you didn't comply to what they said, they would kill you.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just what it was. They would kill you. And they got their wealth off extorting people. You know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, it's not too much genius. You know what I'm saying? They can learn to get smarter in the game to where they can kill less eventually as they get smarter and more seasoned and evil. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But all of them started their empires off straight murder.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying? First, they talk about black on black crime, what black people do to each other. Look at what white people have done to each other and still do to each other this day.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Look at what they did to each other during the time of Prohibition. Look at what they did to each other during the time of World War I. Look at what they did to each other during the time of World War II. Right. You see what I'm saying? And look at what they're going to do to each other in World War III. Go ahead.
Right. And not only look what they do to each other, but look what they do to every other nation, as well as the goddamn animals, plants, vegetables, right, trees, air, clouds.
Right.
They want to kill everything.
Right. But see, here's the thing. They want to talk about black on black crime and act like Chicago, you know what I'm saying, what's going on in Chicago is worse than everything that goes on in the world.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You see how evil they are?
Damn right.
The first thing you mentioned, well, white people, they say, well, what about Chicago?
Right.
Okay, what about Chicago? 60-something people in a place that's that big of murders of people that they done crushed and oppressed, you know what I'm saying? That's not a lot. Al Capone and them would kill 60 damn people in a weekend. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And you know, the white man, when he's talking about black people, he love to run the statistics, the numbers.
Right.
The numbers. But when you look at the numbers when it comes to white on white crime, it's higher, Salaki, than it is with the black on black crime.
And you also
white people kill other white people at a higher rate than black people do.
Right. And you also gotta look at them globally also.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying? You got to look at them, because what they'll try and do, they'll try and lump us in with the Africans and all of that. No, we're not that. You know what I'm saying? And we have to make sure that they know that. But the Bosnians and the Croatians and them are white people. They are Caucasians.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying? They stay closer to the land where they first originated from.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying? Even including Romania and all of that, you know, as dark as they are, they're still Caucasians.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but, you know, look at what they doing to each other. They've been fighting for hundreds of years over in the whole Russian, Slavic realm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
But see, when you talk about, you know, that white people, that's the part of white, you know, that they want to hide. You know what I'm saying? They damn near trying to act like they ain't white. You know what I'm saying? If you got white Muslims out there, they killing the hell out of each other. Right. You know what I'm saying? White Muslims dust each other. Believe that. You know what I'm saying? The Croatians fighting against the Serbs and this and that. You know what I'm saying? You look at their countries. You look at their war-torn countries. That's white on white crime. And they killing each other by the damn thousands while they sitting there talking about, you know, 60 people over a weekend in Chicago and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Right. Now see, here's the thing. We are being oppressed by an enemy nation.
Damn right.
You see what I'm saying? They are being oppressed by their own nation.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying? That's white on white crime, because ain't no blacks or no Chinese and nothing setting up in their government stripping them of resources and they all turning on each other. That's not happening. Go ahead.
So, Lucky, speaking of stripping of resources, I'm not sure who brought it up, but it was somebody in the UPK that was talking about them white Africans that's getting their land snatched from them. You know what I'm saying? Being stripped of their resources. You see, the first thing they did, called Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? It had nothing to do with being African. You know what I'm saying? It had everything to do with being white.
See, now them Hamites are actually making a power play.
Right.
That whole alliance that they have with, with China, what I'm saying, that also gives them help from Korea, China and its allies. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hell, just dealing with China alone. You know what I'm saying? Now, those Africans have gained a measure of power.
Right.
Through their alliances, through the, you know what I'm saying?
Because military support.
Right. The most powerful men ain't always the men that are straight up the most powerful. It's the ones that have the most powerful friends.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That, all they call upon them, that, that's why they want to call upon Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? Because Donald Trump is also into this conflict with, North Korea and all of that too. Which is something that we also going to go into. But as the point that I was saying, the white man is not on top because he's so great and he's so smart and all of that. Because if he was so great and so smart, he would be lawful.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Instead of lawless. Go ahead.
That's lucky. Like, how can he be great and smart when he's never had an original idea ever?
Right.
Everything that he has accomplished in this lifetime, he has stole from another nation.
Right. Even the gun, you know what I'm saying? Even when you go into, far as, what is it? I think it's Chronicles of the time of Uzziah, when it said they made engines of war.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That to shoot great stones with all. Now, you know what I'm saying? Now, that's what is that? That's a cannon.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And they let you know that's mechanical. Right. Engines of war.
Right, exactly. So what they do? They'll take that, just like the Chinese were some of the first ones to have the handheld cannons. Right. Go ahead.
So lucky, sir, not to keep cutting you off, but if you even follow the history of Rome, every time they came across a weapon, they would take that weapon and try to improve upon it every time.
Right.
They get the weapon like, damn, why didn't we think of this? Well, maybe if we make it 100 times bigger, it'll kill 100 times more people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they'll run through 6 or 7, 8 different thousand type of designs of that same weapon until they come up with an efficient killing machine. But it was never their original idea.
Right. And some of the first handguns was really designed off the black man's rod.
Right.
And nuts. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because, just like you got the gun, it's got the barrel, and then it's got the damn, the chamber where, we put the bullets at and it fires straight out of, what I'm saying?
Right.
Just like the seed fires from out of the pea, out of your pea hole. You know what I'm saying? So, hell, they even, what I'm saying? They, like you said, they don't have an original idea, but see, this is one thing that they always do, though. Whatever idea somebody comes up with, they always think how to kill or enslave you with it. So whenever this is something that you're going to want to learn as an officer also, be able to get into a battle with somebody, they talk about the great things that white people have done, look at whatever they say and use that thing against them. Like they'll say something like, well, the white man invented the cell phone. You see what I'm saying? They'll say something like that. I won't argue with them and say, no, a black man invented that. That's not how I'll battle them. I'll be like, well, okay, look what they doing with the cell phone, right?
Right.
They enslaving people with the damn cell phone. You see what I'm saying? And they're tracking people with the cell phone. And people is, what I'm saying, your phone getting cut off. You know what I'm saying?
Blowing people up with the cell phone.
Right. All of this stuff is going on with the cell phone. You see what I'm saying? Whatever they say, you can see how it damages lives. White man invented this, invented that. Well, look at what he did with it. You see what I'm saying? Because the white man, he's the minister of death. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Go back to, that's why it says also, and by thy sword shalt thou live. The white man has never made anything to prosper the earth.
Damn right.
You see what I'm saying? He's never made anything that prospers the planet Earth.
Yeah, right. So lucky if I would, sir. Like he's such a damn devil and such a bloodthirsty beast. You know what I'm saying? If he will be in an environment, he will be in the middle of the ocean. A shark will attack a white man, and then they go into the ocean and kill as many sharks as they can.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? For vengeance.
That is a devil spirit.
Right. Like it was the shark's fault.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I remember when it says about Esau, when it talk about the king of Babylon, he who ruled the nations in anger. You see what I'm saying? It said it's persecuted and none is hindereth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Esau is the leaders of Babylon today. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Matter of fact, we're going to go also into proving that also. So it's, it's beyond the shadow of a doubt. You know what I'm saying?
Damn right.
But let me get back to the scripture. It says, and by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. Now they say, oh, wait a minute. It says he'll serve his brother, so we on the bottom right now. We serving, so this must be, Esau must have been black now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Esau must have been black, right?
Right.
And it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion. Like, wait a minute, hold on. It said when thou shalt have the dominion. So then you have to ask them the question, okay, when are we going to have the dominion then? You know what I'm saying? If we Esau, or whatever the case is, or we ain't, you know what I'm saying, Israel, how are we going to get the dominion? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
That thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck means he will no longer be a servant to Jacob.
Damn right.
You see what I'm saying? When did that really first start happening? You got to look at Greece. When Greece rose to the power, right? You know, after the time of Haman and after the time of Esther and all that. You know, when the Greeks were able to overthrow the Medo-Persian Empire, who was attacked right after that? Who did they come for right after that?
Say it again, sir. I'm sorry.
Okay. Who did the Greeks come for right after they conquered the Medes and the Persians?
Medes and Persians. They came for the Judites.
Yeah, they came for the nation of Israel. That's what Maccabees is all about.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? The white man has always been the man to rule in anger. As a matter of fact, Esau came down with the ancient Babylonians also. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
They've always joined themselves with another nation, and that nation has always embraced them into coming to the war against us. You see what I'm saying? You can't think of, even to this day, they what do? They get in confederate with other nations and they set the chicken joints up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Making economic warfare. You see what I'm saying? Setting up the hair stuff, the weaves and all of that.
Right.
More economic warfare. Wherever there's an attack against us, the white man is always behind it.
The schools,
you know what I'm saying?
For educational warfare.
Right. Right.
The churches for spiritual warfare.
Right. You know what I'm saying? They fighting us in every level we can damn think of. Yeah, that's that rulership by the sword. That's what the white man's strength is. His strength is the sword, because if you rebel against if you get into it with them Arabs, who gonna come for you?
White man.
Right. With his gun on his hip.
Yeah, right.
You come up against the Koreans, who gonna come at you?
The damn white devil.
It'll be the white man and the Koreans. You know what I'm saying? Both of them. You assault the Africans. You know what I'm saying? The white man and the African will come for you. You see what I'm saying? He's joined with every damn body it is against us.
Except for the Israelites. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The only Israelites that he has are the slave ones. You know what I'm saying? That don't realize who they are. Like these black cops that's killing their own people to try to prove their worthiness to the white devil.
Right. But here's the thing about it, though. A whole lot of them know who they are and still fall into that.
Right.
It's like you got sisters out there that's quick. She run around with the name Bot Israel. Be quick to call the police on her man, you know what I'm saying? Just because he raised his voice at her.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just because he got tired or something, you know what I'm saying, and raised his voice, now you got to leave. You got to get out. You know what I'm saying? You need to go somewhere for a couple of days. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And if you don't go, who does she call? The white man. Right. She calls Satan also. You know what I'm saying? And while she run around with an Israelite name and thinking it was a name that she think is Israelite any damn way, you know what I'm saying? But she's still siding with them herself.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying? So just knowing that you Israel, you know what I'm saying, that don't mean a damn thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They know who they are, they still doing it.
Damn right.
And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. Now think about this for a second. Now, he was blessed, it said, by the sword shalt thou live. Now, every man want to be a mighty warrior, right?
Right.
Okay, and it said he'll have the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven. You know what I'm saying? It would seem like he would have got happy off that, right? Don't it seem like he would have got happy off that blessing, right? He'd be a mighty warrior, and he'd be in the fatness of the earth. You know what I'm saying? And then you have to watch out too for these fake Israelite groups, because they'll go into these other translations of the Bible, where it says, you know, where it says, "Thou shalt be far away from the blessing," right? They'll go into that because the other books, the other translations say that. They'll say, "Thou shalt be far from the fatness of the earth," which they done interjected that in there. But right. The Bible don't say that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, right. Edom was a rich people. They was rich. You know what I'm saying? Bozrah was known for fat pastors, and you know what I'm saying? So how could that be true? How could that quote be true? You know what I'm saying? They'll go into another translation. Well, the Hebrew word is actually such and such, and they give you some Yiddish word, and then, you know what I'm saying, the simple be like, oh, okay. That don't study, you know what I'm saying? Right. And Esau said in his heart, "The days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob." He purposed in his heart he's just going to kill him. You see what I'm saying? He didn't even hear the blessing for real. You know what I'm saying? Because he was so pissed off and angry with Jacob. Now just think about how that hatred for Jacob festers, how it grows and grows and grows into the situation that you see today. You know what I'm saying? Now what we're going to go to is going to Isaiah.
Shalom, sir.
All right.
I'll be over in the morning so we can get this studying in.
Okay, all right. We're going to go into Isaiah. No, let's do Psalms 137. We're going to go there. Just to drive this point home. All right. Psalms chapter 137 and verse 1. By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down, yea, we wept when we remembered Zion. It said we wept when we remembered Zion. By the rivers of Babylon, because what would they do? They would have us, you know, just like, say, for instance, certain rivers, you know, and you had the Ohio River and everything, you know, all of these different rivers where they would bring the slave ships into and dock right there, you know what I'm saying? By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down. We wept when we remembered Zion. It said we wept when we remembered Zion. You know, we start weeping, right? We hanged our harps upon the willows in the midst thereof. Now, the willow tree is a tree that looks sad. It's got the droopy, you know, leaves and all of that. It looks sad. Our harp being hung up on the willows represent, we'd be singing sad songs, songs of lamentation. You see what I'm saying? That's where Lamentations is rooted out of, right? That's the harp being hung up on the willows. Well, there, they that carried away captive, us away captive required of us a song. They that wasted us required of us mirth. What does it mean? Wasted us, slaughtered us by the thousands and thousands, right? And by the millions. Saying, sing us one of those songs of Zion. This is the reason why no blacks should ever sing to entertain white people. You see what I'm saying? You have brothers and sisters in slavery that died because they had musical talents and everything. They died before entertaining the white man. You see what I'm saying? And what they did was, that first generation, what did they do? They bred them, killed them off, you know what I'm saying? Broke the spirit of the next generation. And that next generation who had his spirit broken produced another generation, which goes forward into the weak black people you see today. Well, black man, black woman is weak. You were breeded to be that. You see what I'm saying? You were breeded into that. It's not all your fault. You see what I'm saying? It's the white man's fault. He's the one that breeded you to be weak and did all types of evil things to you. I mean, unspeakable things. You see what I'm saying? The white man has done unspeakable, atrocious acts to black people. Stuff that would break any nation of people psychologically. You see what I'm saying? It would psychologically break anybody. You see what I'm saying? So when a black person's weak and say you got the knowledge and you strong, what's your job to do? Your job ain't to call him a weak nigga and all of that, a weak asshole, or none of that stuff. Your job is not to do that. It's to strengthen the weak, because that's why the Lord made the strong, to strengthen the weak. You see what I'm saying? Just like the Lord made the rich to look after the poor. You see what I'm saying? Every other nation sees and understands this stuff, but we don't. All right? How shall we sing the Lord's song in a strange land? If I forget thee, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget her cunning. If I do not remember thee, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. If I prefer not Jerusalem above my chief joy, remember, O Lord, the children of Edom, right, in the day of Jerusalem. Now think about it. Now, Psalms was written by King David, right? Now, what day of Jerusalem is he talking about, right? Because these prophecies, more than just one fold, right? Because Edom came down with the ancient Babylonians, and Edom also came down as the new Babylonians during the time of Greece, and they did it again with Rome. You see what I'm saying? And they're doing it again. You see what I'm saying? They trample it underfoot. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays. Who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof, O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed. Happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. Now, you ever notice something? Ancient Babylon was not destroyed in this way. And there's a reason why the Most High didn't allow ancient Babylon. He allowed ancient Babylon, as powerful as they was, to be overthrown in 1 hour. You know what I'm saying? Darius the Mede got into the castle of Belshazzar and killed him. And it was his whole. So if that Babylon was destroyed in this way, right? What Babylon is the Most High talking about now? Obviously, it's a different Babylon here, you know what I'm saying? Because all of that didn't go down with the first Babylon. You know what I'm saying? We didn't reward ancient Babylon as ancient Babylon rewarded us. We didn't do that. It was overthrown in a split moment, you know what I'm saying? And another kingdom was set up, the kingdom of the Medes and the Persians, you know what I'm saying, was right in its place immediately. You see what I'm saying? And then we became even subservient unto them. You see what I'm saying? So that shows you that the white man, who is the devil, is the is Babylon of today. And these are the people that, you know what I'm saying, that are, you know, they're using their strikes against, you know, the nations who they were formerly in confederate with, just like the nation of Moab. You see what I'm saying? And just like what I and the trooper was talking about earlier, of this whole thing with the, you know, now you got the what they call themselves, the Afrikaans, you know, the white people down in South Africa that are now being uprooted out of their land, right? Because the Africans have made some Confederates, you know what I'm saying? The Africans have struck some deals, made some agreements. And the Afrikaans are in league with America. You see what I'm saying? They're in league with America and with, you know, Europe and all of that, right? They don't have the allegiance of the Eastern unity. You see what I'm saying? Like China and Russia and all of that. They don't have the allegiance of them. That's why they called upon Trump. You see what I'm saying? So when they're supposed to be an independent group, right? But then they're gonna sit there and call upon America. Oh, you know, they so tough. You know what I'm saying? Why don't they just fight their own battle, right? Why don't they just fight for themselves? So all of that, while they were sitting there talking about years back, talking about poor South Africans and the South Africans, you know, and you know, just talking about the South Africans, how they, you know, a lot of them was in poverty, such and such, and they have somebody to call upon. You see what I'm saying? They have somebody to call upon. They have a prince to call, you know what I'm saying, whenever they get into trouble. You see what I'm saying? They have somebody to reach out to, but blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we have no one. But see, them Africans do have people to rely upon. You see what I'm saying? So that is going to make tensions even rise there. You see, you get what I'm saying? So now they're going to try and send, they eventually might even try and send troops to South Africa while they're still trying to deal with the Koreans, which is only going to make things worse there. You see what I'm saying? It's only going to make the Koreans and everything more angry. Because if it's just the Chinese, but see, if it's just the Chinese down in Africa doing their thing or whatever, they're still allied with Korea. You see what I'm saying? They still family at the end of the damn day. You know, just like the white South Africans and America and Britain and, you know what I'm saying, everybody else. They're family. Every other white country. They're all family. That's why they call upon Donald Trump. Why couldn't they call upon their South African leaders? You see what I'm saying? They have a governmental structure down there, right? Why couldn't they call upon them? You see what I'm saying? And being the fact that they calling on Trump, obviously the South African armies or whatever down there is not hearing them. So obviously the South Africans then gained a little bit of power somewhere. You see what I'm saying? Me, myself, I would like it if they ran those white people up out of there, even though I don't give a damn about either one of them, you know what I'm saying? But I would still like to see them get ran up out of there and I would still like to see the South African police harass them, slam them down to the damn ground for them to cry to Trump even more while Trump is fighting. And it's still good. And he's still trying to look at North Korea and Russia and all of them, you know what I'm saying? I would still like to see that. And I wonder who's going to step up into play as soon as he sat there and try and make a play towards South Africa. I would like to see who's going to rise up against him, who's he, you know, as he's trying to do that, right? Because the way I see it, hell, being the fact that the white South Africans are kind of a little bit on the weak side, right? I would like to see him just look at them as, you know, kind of like a liability or something. You know what I'm saying? Something that he can something he could sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? He see them as dead weight. You know what I'm saying? Because if he do that, then those South African police and all of them, whatever's down there, the armies or whatever down there is going to get even bolder. And I would like to see them being treated like black people while they're over there. By some Africans. I would like to see that, you know what I'm saying? Because the white man is a cancer wherever he go. He just eats things up. You know what I'm saying? While they sitting there trying to play it like they so poor and humble. You know what I'm saying? Now, Isaiah chapter 34 and verse 1. Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, because the Most High is putting them into place to fight one another. You see what I'm saying? Now, with China and Russia being allied, right? With China and Russia being allied, those are two major players, you know what I'm saying? Super major players, right? Because you have like, you look at the top 10 list of world's most powerful armies or biggest military budgets, things like that. You'll see, United States supposed to be at number one, and right up under the United States will be Russia and China. You know what I'm saying? So all things over there, most of the things are going to fall under them. You see what I'm saying? They're going to fall up under them. And whoever sides with this, with this Western world, hell, they could be in some trouble. You know what I'm saying? Just like the Saudi Arabians are trying to hold their interests. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to hold their interests, but they've joined America and all of that. You see what I'm saying? Which, it doesn't seem like too smart of a move at this point. You see what I'm saying? And his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter. It means this is a done deal, right? So now, what you got going on now is you have North Korea, who is now having talks with South Korea, who are semi-allied with America, right? Now think about this for a second. What's going on is the North Koreans, he's talking about compromising concerning his nuclear arms. Kim Jong-un is talking about, compromising and having a talk with, Donald Trump and all of that, right? Now, I don't believe that he's going to, let those nukes go. Believe that. He's not going to let them go. What he's really doing is buying himself some time. And he's also talking with South Korea, who are formerly, enemies of North Korea, right? Now, Kim Jong-un could be actually making a power play here, coming and talking peaceably to South Korea, right? And maybe joining forces and building even more forces, having more resources so he can have more nuclear weapons and fight and have all of his pieces in play, all of his I's dotted and his T's crossed, so that North and South Korea together could be a good, formidable, combatant for the United States. You see what I'm saying? While China and all them sit back and watch. You know what I'm saying? And if need be, they will get pulled in also. Which, of course, that's definitely going to happen too. You see what I'm saying? And I wouldn't doubt if it was talk to China. I wouldn't doubt that either. That he talked to China, you know what I'm saying? And them together got South Korea, starting to try and get South Korea on board with them. You know what I'm saying? He's not to think about it. He's probably talking to South Korea and saying, telling them what would be the wiser move for them to get with. You see what I'm saying? He's probably telling them, since y'all been allies to America for so long, right? But you see that all of these people are now gaining so much strength, right? And they're gaining the strength that they will be able to come up against America. So the smarter thing we'll be able to do is North Korea and South Korea come back together as Korea and not two totally separate groups. You see what I'm saying? Because as America gets their wrath and South Korea's on America's side, South Korea's got to feel the pain too. You see what I'm saying? So now South Korea might be in a situation where they got a dilemma. You know what I'm saying? They got a dilemma going on, right? All right. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses. That's many dead right there behind this. You see what I'm saying? Because the Most High playing them all against each other, right? And then, regardless, they're going to get sucked into this thing, great and small, right? They're going to get sucked in. They'll be forced in, and that's what's going on now. South Korea try and play it like they want to play it like they're neutral. They're going to be forced into this thing. You see what I'm saying? Because North Korea will be backed by China and Russia, so that will force them to make a move. You see what I'm saying? And the mountains shall be melted with their blood. You see what I'm saying? Blood pouring everywhere. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. Now think about it. Now while this is going on over there, right? Now we have to also think of too, now you got the bombs going off, the heavens rolled as a scroll, all of this stuff going on, right? But every time America has war over there, there's always a war being fought here also. You see what I'm saying? That's where you get the drone technology and all of that. What I was just mentioning about that young white dude, that teenage white dude that put the gun up on his drone. They are getting ready also because, see, this is why separation for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians is so important. As long as you're integrated and mingled among them, they can blame every problem on you. You see what I'm saying? But you separate, then they'll blame the problem on the government. Because when you being separate, the more separated you are, the more they're going to have to treat their own like Negroes. They're going to treat their own like niggas. And the whites are not going to stand for it, and they'll go to war against the government. You see what I'm saying? Black people, black Hispanics, Native Indians, that ain't got nothing to do with us. If we separate, that ain't got nothing to do with us. So they'll sit there and try and tell you we should all stick together and work together. You see what I'm saying? We should work together. Bull crap. Let them work by themselves. Fine, work together. Yeah, you work together with that other white contingency group and y'all do y'all's thing. Don't sit there and try to suck us into that. You know what I'm saying? Because white people understand it's a simple trick they've always used on us. It's so simple. It works every time also. You see what I'm saying? There was slave revolts where white people were actually trying to help out black people, right? Because at that time, poor whites were not looked at as being white, right? They figured themselves as being somewhat similar to blacks, so they started helping blacks for a little while, but then the government seen that, right? All the whites, all the rich whites and all that seen that, and they said, why y'all helping them? Y'all are white just like us. So for the first time in their lives, they felt like they were actually worth something, and they turned on us overnight, and the death toll of us shot through the damn roof. You see what I'm saying? Just like, say, for instance, the civil rights movement, right? Where you have black women and black men, any type of black revolutionary movement, we always let our woman come up to the front. You see what I'm saying? And so what she do, the white man knows exactly what to do to her too. The white man make himself an option to her. She turn on you she turn on you overnight. Why you sitting there, power to the people, thinking you got an ally at your side just because both y'all run around with big gigantic afros and she's like this just like you and everything. Her reasons is way different than yours. You know what I'm saying? She's only like that because she wants to be loved and embraced. You see what I'm saying? By white society. And what better way to do that than to use you? Just like a jealous woman, you know what I'm saying? A woman that, you know, she mad at her husband because she don't feel her husband pay her enough attention, right? And she go, her boyfriend, whatever the hell she got, you know, she figured he ain't paying her the attention that she needs, so she start flirting with another man. Black man, we are that other man. We're looked at as that other man. Because the white man has been the husband that she's been trained up to love. You see what I'm saying? Her grandmother loved the white man, and she worshiped her grandmother. So what you think she loved? Who you think her husband is? You see what I'm saying? So like back to what I was saying, like that same, you know, black woman, or you know, what she'll do is she'll join with you like she's joining with you. And because she know that'll get the attention of the white man, right? And what will he do? He'll come forward and make himself an option. You see what I'm saying? And he do that, and all of a sudden she forget all about you. You see what I'm saying? She forget all about you. And the only reason why a lot of black women is with black men is because they figure that the white man is not looking at them like that. You know, they figure that they stuck with you. You see what I'm saying? That's why you start to see today, you start to see white men with fat black women. You see what I'm saying? You start to see that now. White man and a fat black woman. Go to your grocery store. You see what I'm saying? Just go to your grocery store, you know, sometimes you can, since they talk about, you know, black men, white men get the bad black women. The white men get the, you know what I'm saying? People love to say that. No, you seeing white men run around with hit black women now. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't even want, you know what I'm saying? And think about it now, look what effect this is going to have on the black woman, right? On the black woman who done had suppressed us, had a suppressed desire for the white man, right? Has a suppressed desire deep down inside. Now think about it. Now, what she's always wanted has been offered to her now. You see what I'm saying? That's only going to make matters between the black man and the black woman of any kind magnified even more. You see what I'm saying? I'm seeing white men with smashed black bald-headed women now. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing that now. You know, I don't know where y'all dudes is from, but I'm seeing that. I see it here in Indianapolis, and I see it in Louisville. You know what I'm saying? Before I even got into UPK, I was seeing that. Go to the Kroger's, and you can see it. You see what I'm saying? When you think about it, 10 years ago, you wasn't seeing that. You know what I'm saying? Our peoples move with whatever spirit is in the place. You see what I'm saying? Whatever the spirit and the vibe is. It's how we move. It's like we even do it subconsciously. So during the time of the civil rights movement, a lot of them black women ended up becoming lesbians, and they ended up becoming the poets. Or when they get into poetry out here, you know what's next. You know what I'm saying? You know, they're going to cut their hair off and go a little afro. You know what I'm saying? They'll chop their hair off, you know, become lesbians until they figure they're in a position to get them a white man. Then they become like Maya Angelou and all of them. The women, now think about this for a second. Look at the warfare that's used against you. Now, they talk about the black man being with white women and all of that, but they never talk about their heroes like Maya Angelou and, you know, and going all the way back to Lena Horne and all them celebrity black women, you know what I'm saying, who are their role models, right? They were all with white men. You see what I'm saying? You see the diabolical witchcraft that's done been played, and it never became a problem until like the 70s when people start seeing, you know, when a white woman start exercising her feminist right to have her a male sex slave just like her white man has. You see what I'm saying? And all their hosts shall fall down as a leaf falling from the vine. It's going to be a lot of bloodshed. You see what I'm saying? But as I was saying, though, that, you know, that warfare right there, they turned her against you. That's one of the things that movie, the Black Panther, you know what I'm saying? That movie, you only seen like, what, maybe two real black women in the whole movie. You see what I'm saying? But You know, as they say, they throw us all in one lump, so we think that them bald-headed women was representing our women and everything, right? They are at war with us on every level. You see what I'm saying? Just like during the time of World War I, they came out with that movie, The Birth of a Nation, right? During the time of like World War I think it was right before World War I started, right before it. Because they were already setting the stage for the World War I and the war that will be fought here, the propaganda that will be pushed up on us here, because while we was fighting in World War I, while the soldiers was fighting in World War I, they were murdering and killing us here. Just like in any other war. You see what I'm saying? That was during the time when Black Wall Street was hit. You see what I'm saying? That's when Black Wall Street started, you know, that was all in that same time frame right there. You see what I'm saying? When they start destroying us all throughout their, you know, all throughout our cities that we had. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. Now, if the Arab man, you know, is Idumea, right? You know, why does it say his sword is going to be bathed, and it said that he was going to bring the strength of Esau down to the ground? So that means a lot of the strength will be in the air, right? The Arabs are not known for having high tech, all types of high tech, you know, planes and all of that. All type of bomber jets and all types of, you know, stuff that can do all type of crazy maneuvers and all of that. Their strength, you know, their strength is not in airstrikes. You see what I'm saying? The Arabs, you know, they got bombs. They got old, outdated rocket launchers. They got outdated, you know, weapons. They got AK-47s. You know, they got rocket launchers that halfway work. And when they have snipers and everything, they got to rely more on, you know, hand-me-down weapons and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Their blessing is not the sword. Because if it was the sword, then they would be able to take whatever they get and modify it into something, you know, something super deadly, but they can't do that. You see what I'm saying? All they learn is how to, you know, fight with somebody else's stuff, somebody's hand-me-down weapons, and how to use them. That's why a lot of those Arabs have to be trained by other people. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them have to be trained by Russians and all of them. You see what I'm saying? On how to use certain weapons. And when they have snipers and stuff like that, the snipers a lot of times are using outdated guns. You see what I'm saying? They're not getting the high-tech stuff. You see what I'm saying? And then also, too, if they were the ones that are blessed with the sword, then why the hell are they fighting in robes and sandals then? What their military uniforms look like? You know what I'm saying? Somebody that has a blessing with the sword, he got the breastplate. You know what I'm saying? He got the, you know what I'm saying, the bulletproof vest is like the ancient, there's a modern day version of the breastplate from, you know what I'm saying, from back in the ancient times, you know, to stop somebody from being able to stab you or arrows from being able to hit you. You see what I'm saying? You know, so why ain't they got all of that? And if they do get it, they got to get it from another country. You see what I'm saying? Other than that, they in robes. Who the hell, you know, go to war in a damn robe and some sandals? You see what I'm saying? So how the hell are they the people that got the blessing of the sword? And also, too, it said Esau was a man, a cunning hunter, a man of the field, right? The Arab man is not a man of the field. The Arab man is the man of the desert. You see what I'm saying? You show me, I want to see the great Arab hunting shows. I want to see that. You know, anybody can send me the link, you know what I'm saying? You know, send me the link to a great Arab hunting show that's ever came out of Arabs hunting, you know what I'm saying? The white man has all the hunting shows. The white man is the chief poacher upon the planet. And the white man is the one that's bringing in World War III because he can't go against his nature. His blessing will come by the sword. He will cause much confusion in the earth, have people fighting one another. You see what I'm saying? And let me also inform you on something too. If you want to know who Esau is, right? And you want to know who the king of Babylon, the king of confusion is, look at who provides the weaponry. You see what I'm saying? Look at who's funding both sides of wars, along with the weapons. You'll have one group fighting another group, and when that group don't have the weapons or whatever, you know what I'm saying, and he gives them the weapons, then that puts him in control, because now he provided them what they need to fight against that other army, while they sat back on the other hand and take all the resources of both armies and just fought each other. You see what I'm saying? And being the fact that they holding both resources and they controlling, you know what I'm saying, at least one of the groups, they can sit there and say, I want you to attack them, right? And if that group don't do it, he can send another group to attack them. You see what I'm saying? Now, when they broken down and everything, now they need help again. Now they have to fund the war on who they got to go to, right? The people that have all the money and the resources, they're the ones that's causing these things to happen, right? So is that the error, man? No, it's not. You see what I'm saying? But see, here's one of the things that's going to go into the favor of Moab, right? Their strength is, it might not be the nuclear weapons, their strength is not the sword, their strength is not that, right? Their strength, their bottom line strength is manpower. You see what I'm saying? Manpower, because it is a lot of them. You see what I'm saying? That's why Moab got the name Moab, right? Moab got the name Moab. The name Moab actually means seed. You see what I'm saying? Because that's what his mother had in mind when she slept with her father in the cave in Zoar, right? Was to, produce seed upon the earth, because she thought that the whole earth got destroyed. You see what I'm saying? Because when the five cities was just like the whole world being destroyed. She said, I thought that the earth wouldn't even be populated, right? And with that thought went into the agenda, and her spirit was conformed to that thought and produced a child that will carry on those characteristics. You see what I'm saying? The characteristics of incest, right? That's where the slanted eyes and all of that come from, right? And the characteristics of, it being a whole lot of them. You see what I'm saying? That's one of their major powers right there. Is there, it's not that they're so smart in their technology and all of that, because, how the hell are you going to be so smart when you run around eating octopuses and rats and dogs and all of that? That's not smart. That's not a smart way to live. And the only way that they seem like they smart, they eat an octopus, and we consider that as some wisdom and everything, just because they're rich. And we sit there talking like we should eat more like Asians and all of that, because they live to be 100. They such and such a... You don't understand why they actually live to be that old, right? There's no way that nobody should eat octopuses, rats, cats, dogs, bite the head off bats and all of that type of stuff and live to be 100 years old. But you know why they live to be 100 years old? It's because blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are not in our rightful place in the earth. You see what I'm saying? Long as they can get us to sin with them, we get destroyed. The Chinese man, he can run around eating a damn, eating rats. He can eat rats his whole life. Smoke all kind of cigarettes, you know what I'm saying? And then live to be 100. While we do those things, we dead at 40 and 50. You see what I'm saying? We follow him. But if we separate our spirit from that, we'll start to live longer, and their lives, they'll start to reap the suffering behind eating octopuses and rat and squid and all of that. You see what I'm saying? They will start to die like that. So Now think about it. As we grow in righteousness, right, they will start to die. So who would they, and once they've broken all the way down, who would they have to turn to for answers? Right. They will have to turn to the nation of Israel for answers. You see what I'm saying? And the nation of Israel, and we then at that point, and they will seek the wisdom in our mouth, and we'll be able to demand of them whatever it is that we want from them, because we will be the only nation that have the answers to fix the world's problems. You see what I'm saying? That's how all the nations are going to become subservient unto us. And upon the people of my curse to judgment. The sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Lord hath a sacrifice in Bozrah. Now, why would it metaphorically use sacrifice of Bozrah? Now, if Esau was the man that, you know, if it said his blessing will be far from the earth, you know, or he will reap no blessings of the earth, then why would Bozrah be using as an example for the slaughter that the Lord is going to give? Like I mentioned before, Bozrah was known for fatness, fat pastures, you know, rich. It was known for being the richest city in all of Edom. Bozrah, you see what I'm saying? That rich city, you know what I'm saying? Today, because Esau, because his blessing was that he will be as the dew of heaven, means he will be everywhere, right? You know, even though he would be, you know, kind of a relatively small number of people, you know, as far as with nations up on the earth, he would still be in everywhere, and he would still be in the high places. You see what I'm saying? But Bozrah today will be all the richest places of the white man. You see what I'm saying? All of his places of commerce and trade and all of that. You see what I'm saying? It'd be like what Ramses was to Egypt is what Bozrah is to Esau. And a great slaughter in the land of Idumea, and the unicorn shall come down with them. The unicorn shall come down, right? Now, in that movie, The Black Panther, you ever notice? They had the rhinos, right? And those rhinos came through. They had armor plating and the long horn, right? And they came through like tanks. You see what I'm saying? So when it talks about the unicorn shall come down with them, what vehicle is just like those rhinos were? Of course, the tank. Because it has that notable horn which it fires tank shells out of, and it's big, bulky, and armor plated and can run through things, just like a rhino. Just like the rhinos was doing in that movie, The Black Panther. You see what I'm saying? And the unicorn shall come down with them, and the bullocks and the bulls. Now think about it, the bullocks and the bulls. Now when you look at the Hummers and all of that, how a lot of them got them battering, you know, cages in front of them. You see what I'm saying? That's like a bull right there. The bull is not big and as strong as the rhino, but at the same time, it's dangerous also. You see what I'm saying? All of these things is coming down, right? The tanks and the Hummers and all of that, right? And their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness. Now think about this for a second. Do the Arabs have all of this? Do they have, now when it talks about the unicorns and the, you know, and the bullocks and the bulls, do the Arabs have all of this? No, they don't have all, they don't have all these Hummers and all of that stuff. You see what I'm saying? They don't have that. And it's not, you know, this ain't talking about, you know, literal unicorns and bullocks and bulls coming down. You see what I'm saying? You know that this ain't talking about, you know, the rodeo bulls, they're going to be running down to Jerusalem and all that. That's not what this is talking about. We know what this is talking about. This is military equipment that's going to come from the Idumeans. So if the Idumeans is the Arabs, then, you know, why does it say that they have this technology right here to have the unicorns and the bulls? You see what I'm saying? And their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness. For the day of the Lord's vengeance, and the year of recompense, for the controversy of Zion. All right? And the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall become burnished pitch. Means the Most High is going to tear the place up. You see what I'm saying? And this nation is going to get it. And see, you didn't have tanks and Hummers and all of that back then. So that shows you that this is a future prophecy. You see what I'm saying? The name unicorn, uni means one. You know what I'm saying? And the horn, of course, means one horn, right? Even though the rhino's got two horns or whatever, but it's one that he fights with. You know what I'm saying? That long horn. That other one is just like a backup horn or whatever. That's not even what he actually fights with. You see what I'm saying? Now let's go to Isaiah. Go to Isaiah chapter 15. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 15, and we're going to start at the first verse. The burden of Moab, because in the night Ar of Moab is laid waste. It's going to be a great destruction in China, throughout China and Korea and all of that. It's going to be a huge destruction throughout that. And brought to silence. So, if Kim Jong-un decides that he wants to, back out, buy himself some time, the battle could be, it could be postponed until a couple of years. But it's still going to be an inevitable thing, though. You know what I'm saying? If he's kind of losing heart because maybe at some point he lost an ally, maybe, South Korea ain't going for his talk with them or whatever the case is, and he decides, well, he doesn't have enough strength right now because, China doesn't want to make a move right now. So he probably figures, okay, this is bad timing right here. But it doesn't matter. It's still inevitable. You see what I'm saying? That this thing is going to happen. Maybe he was speaking in his pride when he was talking all of that stuff, and him and Donald Trump was exchanging all of those words. Or maybe he's just biding his time, building up his forces so that, that he knows he's ready when the time comes. You see what I'm saying? And Donald Trump has spoke saying that he's, which way that North Korea wants to go, that he's with it. That they going in full steam either way. You see what I'm saying? But in reality, there is no either way. There's only going to be one way. You see what I'm saying? The other way might be postponed for a little while, but it's only going to be one way. You know what I'm saying? Because in the night, Kir of Moab is laid waste and brought to silence. He has gone up to Bajith and to Debon, the high places, to weep. Moab shall howl over Nebo and over Medeba. On all their heads shall be baldness, and every beard cut off. In their streets they shall gird themselves with sackcloth. Now, you'll see this stuff on the news. You see what I'm saying? on the tops of their houses, and in their streets. Every one shall howl, weeping abundantly, and Heshbon shall cry, and Eliah, their voices shall be heard, even unto Jahaz. Therefore, the armed soldiers of Moab shall cry out. Now, the armed soldiers are going to cry out. Why? Because they're going to be getting their issue. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be catching hell. You see what I'm saying? There's no way around that. You know what I'm saying? The armed soldiers are going to start to be made weak. Because all of these attacks from every side, this group is, allied with that. You know what I'm saying? This group was allied with them. This group was formerly allies with them, but now they're turned on. All of this stuff is going into play. You see what I'm saying? And one group, will set around and attack another group, and if they start to lose, they're going to blame the group that sent them. You see what I'm saying? And that's the way that this thing works. Or that other group will just come in and just wipe them all the way out, take their resources or whatever, and then go on to fight the group that they just fought. You see what I'm saying? All of their allegiances, it's just so easy for the Most High just to bust it all up. You know what I'm saying? They're just where they all just fight each other. You know what I'm saying? White people even had to form the European Union to stop white people from slaughtering each other over in Europe by the millions. You see what I'm saying? Without that, the white race would have damn near probably went extinct. You see what I'm saying? Without the European Union and them all coming together to sit at the table or whatever, the white race would have probably damn near went extinct. You see what I'm saying? What they actually did was took a page out of Rome. You know what I'm saying? Just come together in that big old gigantic council. You know what I'm saying? Just like what they did in during the time of the mob and the prohibition and all of that. As prohibition was getting ready to come to a close. You see what I'm saying? When Lucky Luciano and them formed their own version of the UN, which was, a pretty smart idea with them being Esau and all of that. It was a pretty smart idea to stop them from killing each other because, hell, they were wiping each other the hell out. You see what I'm saying? And what happened was, what did the Most High do with that? He busted that into pieces also. You see what I'm saying? He busted that into pieces, you know what I'm saying? And that's when dudes like Nicky Scarfo and, eventually John Gotti and them came into play. And all of a sudden the rules went in the garbage. You see what I'm saying? And they all start killing each other up again. Well, that's the same thing Most High doing with the European Union. You see what I'm saying? It's the same thing. Once he busts them up, they're going to start fighting each other. You know what I'm saying? And they'll start killing each other worse than what they did, in times past. That's one of the reasons why this World War III is going to be so dangerous, so brutal. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to be at such a, high level of carnage, even more than the world wars before. You see what I'm saying? Because, see, this World War is going to bring everybody in it. Everybody wasn't brought in the other ones. You see what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, it was mainly, like in World War I and World War II, it was mainly Europe. You see what I'm saying? Going at it. Right? It was mainly Europe going at it. But in this one, because after an hour with the beast, right? All of these nations have come up after spending 1 hour with the beast. You know what I'm saying? They went into bed with the beast. Now they all are having the same type of nuclear, power, weapons power and all that. They're starting to have all of that. And they all are now major players. You see what I'm saying? And they're all, trying to unite as the one world, government and everything, but the Most High is going to bust that up and cause them to fight. You see what I'm saying? And then, when they decide, wait a minute, hold on. We all got one common enemy. And they start to come after the Lord's people. That's going to be the time that Christ is going to come. You see what I'm saying? Christ is going to come in the midst of all of that. Also, he's going to come with anger and fury. You see what I'm saying? My heart shall cry out for Moab. His fugitives shall flee unto Zoar. Now it says his fugitives are going to flee to Zoar. Why is that? Because Zoar is the birthplace of Moab. Ammon and Moab, when they very first started to populate, that's where they lived at. You see what I'm saying? Because their mothers had them in a cave in Zoar, so they dwelt there also for a little period of time until they started to populate. You see what I'm saying? And then they started, to spread out or whatever, right? Because out of all of those cities, you know what I'm saying, still a piece of Zoar left, after all Sodom and Gomorrah got destroyed. But what are they doing? They're going right back to their homeland, to where they originated from. You see what I'm saying? They doing that for strength. Just like the white man, when he's getting his behind tore up, he's going to go back to Petra for strength. You see what I'm saying? Just like they make pilgrimages to Petra every year also. You see what I'm saying? They go and they turn it into a tourist attraction, and only white people go there. You know what I'm saying? You don't ever see no Arabs there, none of that, because that's not the Arabs' original place. It's the original place, the original root of the white man. You see what I'm saying? That was his place after the Most High, after he, the Most High destroyed the children of Seir through them or whatever, they took his place and they ended up becoming Mount Seir. You see what I'm saying? Just like they kill everybody else on the earth and take their name. Be desolate, for the hay is withered away. The grass faileth. There is no green thing. No green thing, because the land is going to be tore up. Hell, radiation everywhere. You see what I'm saying? Causing the grass and all of that not to grow. You see what I'm saying? From all the bombs and all of that, it's just going to be damn dust heaps. And torn up, half-torn buildings, and you know what I'm saying? Everything's just going, you go to certain places in China, and it already looks horrible. You see what I'm saying? And those cities are gigantic, But it says, there is no green thing. Therefore, the abundance they have gotten, and that which they have laid up, shall they carry away to the brook of the willows. For the cry is gone round the borders of Moab, the howling thereof unto Eglium, and the howling thereof to Berlin. For the waters of Debon shall be full of blood. For I will bring more upon Debon, lions upon him that escapeth of Moab, and upon the remnant of the land. The Most High, these people are going to be getting this in this World War III. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go into Zechariah. Zechariah chapter 14. in verse, let's see, start at, we're going to go to Zechariah chapter 14. We can start at the first verse. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee. For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle. You see, this is what everything is leading to. You see what I'm saying? This is what all of this is leading to right here. You know, all of these confederacies that they have, all of these, you know, agreements, all of that stuff's going to be broken. You see what I'm saying? But they're going to unite. The Most High is going to cause them to unite for this final, this kick right here. You see what I'm saying? And the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravished. And the half of the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city. Then shall the Lord go forth and fight against those nations as when he fought in the day of the battle. And his feet shall stand in that day upon the Mount of Olives, which is before Jerusalem, on the east. And the Mount of Olives shall cleave in the midst thereof toward the east and toward the west. It means the mountain is going to split, right? And therefore shall be a very great valley, and half of the mountains shall remove toward the north, and half of it towards the south. And ye shall flee to the valley of the mountains, for the valley of the mountains shall reach unto Azil. I'm going to go ahead and skip down for time's sake. We're going to go to verse 11. And men shall dwell in it, and there shall be no more utter destruction, but Jerusalem shall be safely inhabited. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. Now, we already know what this is. You see what I'm saying? They've been blown away from the inside out. You see what I'm saying? And their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongues shall consume away in their mouth. And it shall come to pass in that day that a great tumult from the Lord shall be among them. Now think about this for a second. Say, in that day it's going to be a great tumult from the Lord that's going to come up. Means we're going to be laying in wait while they get smoked and dusted like that, and whatever's left, we're going to come, you know what I'm saying, to destroy. Right? And they shall lay hold every one of it in hand of his neighbor,